Caitlin, Angel, Coco, Simone. Not just athletes, but architects of a sport revolution. We've entered a new era where women's sports have now taken center stage. The numbers don't lie. Ratings are up, ticket sales are booming, and highlights, they're lighting up feeds everywhere. So how do we get here? It's National Girls and Women in Sports Day, and the Lansing Sports Commission is holding its inaugural Fierce Women in Sports event. Fierce standing for Females Ignite, Empower, Respect, Collaborate, and Engage. MSU women's basketball coach Robin Froelich is a keynote speaker at the event and knows firsthand what it's like going against the unicorn that is Caitlin Clark.
I use this term sincerely. She reminds me of like a prodigy. And I think we use that term a lot with music or language, but her ability to make adjustments. The defense changes what they're doing. She can see it in live speed.
The Indiana Fever superstar is the face of women's basketball today. The Iowa native played collegiately for the University of Iowa, where she would cement herself as the best player in the world. Clark was twice named National Player of the Year and became the all-time leading scorer in D1 Hoops history for women and men. She was chosen as the top pick to the W, where she would become the Rookie of the Year.
She just was such a catalyst at the right time, created a craze and energy. So many reasons are behind that, and it wasn't just Caitlin. It was like, well, Caitlin's really exciting to watch, and now I'm watching them play this team, and they're really good, and I'm watching them play this team, and they're really good. So it just got eyes behind it.
The Caitlin Clark effect isn't just about scoring, it's about visibility. Her star power helped the 2024 NCAA Women's Championship draw a record 18.7 million viewers, surpassing the men's final for the first time. Her WNBA debut pulled 1.7 million viewers, the league's biggest audience in 20 years. Clark's spotlight has widened the lane for players like NCAA champion and two-time WNBA All-Star Angel Reese, as well as four-time WNBA MVP A'ja Wilson, while opening doors for new voices, including one with East Lansing roots.
I was a freshman, she was a freshman, we came in together. I vividly remember like her dropping 40 on us. I don't think people really knew who she was back then either.
How aware are you when it comes to this culture shift?
I'm super aware of where the women's basketball game has grown. I just love playing in front of people, in front of crowds, having fans at our games, and I'm just glad that it's growing in the right direction because we work just as hard as any other team in the pro leagues. And I'm just excited. I know it's going to just keep on growing from here.
And in her rookie season, Nye would go on to help Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces win their third title in 4 years. Clara Van Wieren, a Greater Lansing standout, is carving out her own history on the ice. After a stellar showing at Minnesota Duluth, she was drafted 23rd overall by the Toronto Scepters.
Clara Van Wieren from the University of Minnesota Duluth.
Part of a bold new era in women's hockey for the PWHL. We met at Munn Ice Arena, a rink that's been in her DNA since childhood.
This is where I train in the summer. I have so many amazing coaches that I've worked with throughout my time playing hockey who have played for the Spartans. It's just amazing sitting here and thinking back on it.
Can you take us back to draft night? Who were you with and what was your reaction to hearing your name called?
It was an incredible night. My whole family was there. You just wait for your name to get called, and when mine did, it was like full body moment. Like I wasn't expecting it to be so exciting and relieving.
League execs, when the PWHL was first formed, they noted a 10-year business plan and said that they don't expect this league to be profitable anytime soon. As a rookie, how confident are you in that long-term plan being successful? And what do you think needs to happen in order for the league to reach profitability?
I fully trust in their plan, and I think just for us players, like, continue to love it, continue to bring the passion, continue to connect with fans, continue to go out in the community and just be ourselves and trust in the process and do our part to leave it in a better place that we found it.
Sustaining the momentum starts with the next generation. Megan Zeimer, Executive Director of the Lansing Sports Commission, sees every day how exposure and opportunity plant those seeds.
We're trying to make sure that what we're showcasing, not only on our social media outlets, but through all of our platforms, is a little bit more well-rounded and a little bit more abundant.
Now, there's still challenges with this thing. What are those challenges and how do you overcome them?
Everyone kind of says that this is a new thing, right? Like, oh, women's sports is new. Women's sports is not new. It has been around forever. It's just what's new is that people are putting dollars behind it. People are putting it in front of men's sports at times. So what are our challenges? We have to keep speaking up. We have to keep being fierce. We have to keep advocating for ourselves. We have to keep empowering everybody else to do it. We have to keep engaging and coming together and collaborating.
Joanne Gerstner is an award-winning sports journalist, author, and professor at the Michigan State University School of Journalism, and echoes Megan. Women's sports has always been here.
We've been playing tennis, golf, basketball. I mean, the WNBA in all its iterations has been around since mid-1990s. So I think the culture, meaning the finances, are catching up to give the attention. But those of us who have been there have always been there. So maybe others are catching up. But the moment is coming from strictly that the world can see it through the lens that the women are portraying, not just others peeking in through the window and seeing what they want to see.
My mind thinks back to the late Kobe Bryant, who really, for me, was like the first major NBA megastar to start talking about the WNBA. And then, of course, his daughter Gigi, she started playing, so that he kind of got really ingrained into what the WNBA was doing because of her and other factors as well. But you are seeing more and more NBA athletes support what the W is doing, right?
If you look back through the weeds, it's all been there. It's just, I think people are now seeing it so en masse, they can't escape it. But women have been getting it done across the board in sports, for a long time. But we only saw those moments in the Olympics, or maybe saw those moments if you were involved personally by going to a basketball game because you knew somebody. Now, it's cool to go to a sports bar and see the WNBA on, or watching soccer, or seeing women playing hockey.
That growing bond between NBA and WNBA players mirrors a movement to elevate women's voices. Few embody it like Janae Lodwick, Senior Manager of Player and Family Engagement for the Detroit Pistons. At 22 years old, she became the league's youngest assistant equipment manager, stepping into the role when the head manager was under the weather. She went on to become Miss Michigan 24, using that experience as an anchor for the competition.
In the league, I was just one of 3 women to be an assistant equipment manager. At 21 years old, I was the youngest woman to be doing this job.
I knew how things worked. I had been on the road all season, and it was time for me to step up and take advantage of the opportunity in front of me. And what an incredible opportunity that was. It was the one and only time that has ever happened to me when I was in equipment. There is always going to be stigma around women in spaces you don't traditionally see women in. And it makes sense. Me, for example, 21 years old, I was still in college when I started in equipment. And think about it, my office space was a men's locker room. Like, how does that make that, it naturally, it raises some eyebrows. And so those stigmas I take very seriously, but I also take in my role very seriously to create trust. That has paved the way for me to be able to step on those stigmas and trailblaze forward for women.
Janae's story reflects change within the game, but at the Fierce event, that message reached a global stage through Dr. Ashley Huffman, Vice President of Global Engagement at the Institute for Sport and Social Justice.
We are not changing the way people experience sport. We're changing the way people experience the world.
She highlights how Title IX continues to move the needle worldwide.
When you think about how that was intended for education, but spilled over into sport, and then all of the ways in that time frame, Billie Jean King, Battle of the Sexes, all of the coaches that kind of came to the forefront like Pat Summitt and just shattered the glass ceiling. So Title IX, I think, has been repeated now. So we're looking at, okay, this paved the way for women to get an education. And then those educated women became wealthier. And those wealthy women then reinvested into the ecosystem. And now those women own teams. So when you think about the ripple effect of Title IX and the momentum, it went from, we just need a foot in the door, to now you see Angel City FC, a women's soccer team that's majority female owned. It's incredible to see, like, when women have an opportunity, the ways that they're able to give back and pour into their sport. You can't ask people to go be great if you have infrastructure that stinks, if you don't have any marketing dollars towards it. You're like, no one comes to the games. Well, how much did you market it? You spent 10 times more on coverage of men's sports. You spent 20 times more on investment. And then you're wondering, when you position someone to play at 5 p.m., why no one's there? Well, no one's there because you didn't put them in a position to succeed.
Favorite women's sports figure? I mean, Doc, we're talking about an athlete, an executive, a coach. It can be anybody in the women's sports world. Who is your favorite women's sports figure and why?
Wow. Number one, first and foremost, will always be my favorite, Pat Summitt, because as an 11-year-old girl, I went to her camp. She changed the trajectory of my life. It's the first time that I knew somebody from the middle of nowhere could be something. And she was something, and it really inspired me to be something.
For Megan, the answer is simple. Inspiration often begins at home.
The one for me that really truly inspires me is my mom, which is unique. You'd think, your mom, she's not a sports figure, but my mom is who provided me the opportunity to be the person that I am today. My mom is the one that gave me the opportunity to push through and persevere and be determined and focus on my career and realize the potential in me. And so I think that that's my sports figure, would be my mom.
I'm sitting down with you 10 years from now, it's what, 2035. What's the headline about women's sports that you hope we're discussing?
I kind of hope we're not discussing the word women's sports. We just call it sports.